Saturday here in Syracuse, the greatest of all time, honored here in the Dome, and a big crowd on hand for number 1 and number 9, the third all-time meeting between these two inside the Dome. And good afternoon, one and all, and welcome inside the Dome. Brian Higgins, Ryan Powell. There's a 22 hanging up there. Not this guy's yet, that's coming in the future, but Gary Gait honored today, Ryan. And it's going to be a heck of a day here with a lot of Syracuse history and a big-time matchup.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Number 22 up in the rafters, and the Syracuse lacrosse community is really fired up for this one, expecting a great game. Number 1 in the house. Let's see how we go.
And this guy's old head coach will be honored at halftime as well with Roy Simmons Jr. But we got legit players on the field today as well. And Ryan from Maryland, that starts with their stud, Logan Wisnowski, 6th year in school, former Orange, and he is primed to become their all-time leading scorer.
Yeah, just like number 22 for Syracuse, Maryland has their number 1, and that's Logan. He's a do-it-all attackman. He scores goals. He gets big assists. As the Terps go, he goes.
So he is the guy leading the way for Maryland. It's a duo leading the way for Syracuse here today, Ryan. When you talk about the combination that is Brendan Curry and Tucker Dordevic, these guys have been together for 5 years and looking for one of their biggest all-time wins here today.
Yeah, they're both studs. Curry is super fast. You know, talking to Coach Gait this week in the pregame call, he talked about we're going to be seeing a lot of them out there in the game today. When they're not at midfield, they're going to be playing attack. So he's going to try to keep his 2 stars out there on the field as much as he possibly can today.
Well, player Gary Gait had his jersey retired before the game. How about the second game for Coach Gary Gait? He's got to go against the number 1 team in the country.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a big test for him. All eyes are on him and his squad here in the Dome today. Huge crowd, a lot of excitement, a lot of alumni in town. And, you know, Syracuse is looking to get that rich tradition back and get back in the Final Four and championship weekend. So this is a big test for Coach Gait today.
That is what Coach Gait told the Orange fans here before the game. There's Logan McNaney, Maryland's starting goalie. His second year starting for the Terps, had them within a goal of the national title last Memorial Day. And he is a New York native. His counterpart has only been in Syracuse for about a month. The Virginia transfer, Bobby Gavin. He looked solid, Ryan, in his starting debut last week. This is going to be a whole new world for Bobby here today.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that you play a game of this magnitude in the Dome. Goaltending and face-off is always super important. 2 keys of the game will be the netminders and the face-off X today.
Well, the Fogos are Jacob Fopp and Luke Weirman, both Pennsylvania guys. They spent all summer practicing against each other, and Fopp gets the better of it on the first face-off today. So we shall see, Ryan. We're expecting a whole different look of an offense from the one that scored a Dome record 28 goals last week.
Yeah, absolutely. What I liked about Syracuse last week was the energy that they played with, in particular early on in the game. They came out with a lot of fire. They're going to need that again today.
Here's Griffin Cook. And a first look this season at Lucas Quinn, who missed the opener injured. Now Dordevic in his second career start on attack, the former midi. Dordevic has it knocked out of his stick by Zappatello, but retains. Now Owen Siebold, first full year starting for the Orange on attack, ended up on that attack line midway through last season.
Pretty exciting match up there with Zappatello and Tucker Dordevic. They're childhood friends from back in Portland, Oregon. I had the opportunity to coach them both. Great kids, and it's going to be a fun matchup to watch.
Art Powell is the Pied Piper of Oregon lacrosse, for those that don't know. A Curry shot the first of the game, high and wide. Shot clock dwindling here. Cook on target, saved McNaney. Now you talk about the keepers, maybe not the hardest stop there, but a solid first one in the Dome for Logan McNaney.
Yeah, solid stop for sure. If you're Griffin Cook, you want to put that in a little better spot, make that goaltender work on the first one.
And now we get our first look at a potent Maryland offense that has hit the 20-goal mark in each of its first 2 games of the season. 21 against High Point, 20 last week, Ryan, in a demolition of then top 10 Loyola.
Yeah, Maryland is just so well-rounded. That's why they're the number 1 team in the land right now.
Their attack is led by Logan Wisnowski, yet to get his first touch today. This is Keegan Kahn, the transfer out of Villanova, behind. Kahn inside, And Maryland, the first goal of the game as a flag comes after, should count, and the Terps in front 1-0.
Yeah, great inside roll right here by 19 Keegan Kong. As you watch him roll right here, look at that stick protection, keeps it right in front of his face and then buries it to the back of the net. Great stick protection.
30 seconds, guys, out of the box. Okay. Goal is no good. There was a push. White, 25. 30 seconds.
So they wipe it off. That's the new rule from last year, Ryan. The push into the crease. Before last year, that's a good goal. They get the push on Frederigo, which saves the Orange for now. And now Maryland will go man up here. And that's the new rule that came in a year ago, involving the crease area. But for most of the history of lacrosse, that would have counted as a goal. Maryland on the man up. First touch now was Wisnauskas. Jonathan Donville used to play down the road in Ithaca for Cornell. All-American in his own right in the grad transfer. It's a 30-second penalty. See the time on your screen there dwindling down. Outside a rip, wide right by Daniel Kelly. And the penalty expires, so the Orange, the penalty ends up paying off there, Ryan. It looked like a surefire goal, and they get out of the EMO.
Yeah, it looks like there's just another flag thrown. I don't know if the guy released out of the box early. Looks like a little bit of miscommunication there, but nonetheless, right now we got a 6-on-6.
Yeah, there is a flag down. It must mean the penalty's on Syracuse upcoming. Outside shot deflected. Wisnauskas rescoops. DeMayo's shot was denied. Wisnauskas, and that may be the same thing again. They wipe it off. This time Wisnauskas in the crease, but Maryland about to go man up one more time. So 2 times the ball in the net early, and 2 times the crease comes into play.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. That seems a little bit weird that a player would have just went onto the field and released the penalty.
He left early. No push on that. Get back, and I'll get to you. White, 35. Let the box early. 30 seconds. I'm going to talk to them. I'll talk to you. Hey, we're 2 seconds on.
Here's the replay of the goal wiped off here. And that's interesting that maybe wasn't even a penalty on Wisnauskas. There was a dive into the crease and the collision and the hard things for refs to call with that crease stuff. And then they're saying maybe the table released a lot of moe from the box early, and Dave Petramala, first-year Orange assistant, is none too pleased about it.
No, deservingly so. You know, I don't think that a player would just run out there without the table staff telling him that the penalty was released.
That's a rough penalty on the Orange here. It's not Tommy's fault in any way whatsoever. But Maryland is man up again. Wisnauskas, he's the guy on Maryland this year, with the graduated Jared Bernhardt who won the tournament last year, saved by the helmet of Gavin. Brett Kennedy fighting for the ground ball. Will stay Maryland ball as Jonathan Donville was nearby. Still man up. Shot and a goal for the Terps. This one, we promise, will count. Give it to Anthony DeMayo on the extra man.
Man, Maryland plays with a lot of confidence on their man-up unit. All guys ready to go at all times. Great ball movement, tic-tac-toe. DeMayo ends up with it at the end with a low-to-high riser and bangs it off the top of the crossbar to the back of the net. That's an unbelievable shot. Gets Maryland on the board 1-0. And exactly the way that you want to start if you're Maryland, getting that early advantage.
All right, that's almost too much to ask for the Orange defense. You basically had to stop them 3 times in a row. And a violation on face-off on Fop will give the Terps the ball again. This offense is too potent to give them the ball that many times like that.
Absolutely.
Eric Molliver wearing number 11 today in honor of his former coach and former Orange full-time All-American John Zolberti, the Atlanta native. Brings it out for Bubba Fairman, who has given up his role on offense for the most part this year to play D-Midi. Maryland looking for a second. That's Jack Brennan swarmed near the crease. Orange defense provided by the freshman speedster Carter Rice. Wisnauskas again. We'll have our eyes on Wisnauskas all game long for a lot of reasons, Ryan. He's expanded his role this season. He's also the biggest guy out there. You got him circled at all time for the Orange on that scouting report.
He's had an unbelievable career at Maryland, looking to cap it off with a national title this year. But like I said, a do-it-all attackman. He can score, he can feed, big body, great understanding of the game, and a great leader.
Here's Molliver, the sophomore, and Kahn, the grad transfer out of Nova. Kahn had one goal wiped off already, and taken away by Brent Kennedy.
Man, I got to tell you, partner, I don't know if it's my first time working with you or the excitement in this dome. I'm juiced up right now for this game.
Let's give it to the Dome. I don't know how exciting I've been for you here, Ryan, this morning, but the crowd here is great. This is the biggest crowd in the Dome in a long time. Upper deck is open, people up there in spots. And this is a big one. Maryland in the Dome. This is only the third time they've ever been here. You think Houston, Maryland, they must play all the time. Not the case. This is a relatively new game, at least to the regular season. Most of these teams' meetings seem to happen at the quarterfinals or later. Orange ball looking to equalize. Taken away by the Terps. And a loose ball push will give it right back to Syracuse and Brendan Curry. Well, you can feel it. I mean, talk about the history, the Gary Gait jersey retirement. People were here early today, Ryan. There's a buzz in the Dome that hasn't been here in a while.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. There really is.
Jacob Buttermore did not play last week. He's in today. Got it to the left, and the shot skids wide from Seabold. Interested to watch the offense today, Ryan. Gary Gait said they were holding back a lot last week, which sounds silly when they scored 28, but we didn't see the style they'll play in. Dordovic wide with a shot and a backup by the goalie, McNaney.
That's one of the issues that we might see out here a little bit today, with players in different positions on the offensive end for the Orange. You know, lack of backup in certain things. You know, new look offense, some different things, and you know, the chemistry. And we'll see how quickly that comes together.
Well, the Orange can't lean too much on 28-5 last week. A bit of fool's gold considering the opponent in Holy Cross, who has struggled mightily. They got blasted yesterday by Michigan 20-3. Maryland has been beating a higher quality of opponent for the first two. But good game so far here, 1-0 as we close on the halfway mark of the opening quarter. Wisnauskas from his special spot. First shot sails high and wide. Usually from that spot, he's money. There's John Tillman. Ryan, this guy has been the best in the business over the last decade.
He's an amazing coach, very well respected throughout the lacrosse community. Great guy. And it was a lot of fun to talk with him on our call this week.
The last 10 national title games, he's coached in 6 of them. The only thing you can't say he's done is win multiple national titles. If that's a mark against your record, that's pretty good. Saved by Gavin. Well, Gavin's looked solid here in the early going. The one goal, he wasn't going to stop that. Made 2 nice saves.
Yeah, both goaltenders off to a pretty good start here today. Like I was saying, it's super important that your netminders step up for the occasion and play big in the Dome.
Here's Jackson Burtwhistle, injured last week and did not play. The sophomore for the Orange will get some early run. Actually, this is really his first career experience. He redshirted last year.
Good matchup right here. Curry on a short stick. The guy can absolutely fly.
Takes him down the alley. Now Burtwhistle. Checked on the hands. Mikey Berkman, he was involved well last week. Through traffic, Berkman's shot stopped by McNaney, who's had a hot start here in the Dome. Well, Berkman went 3-2 last week in his first career start in place of the injured Owen Hiltz. And now Maryland quickly up the field. Wisnauskas. And Wisnauskas now in a short stick is a dream matchup for Maryland.
Yeah, Syracuse has got a guy there on the crease looking to slide early if they need to.
There's Keegan Kahn. Second midfield coming aboard here for Maryland. Jack Brennan's got the ball. Owen Murphy, the Johns Hopkins transfer, joins from behind. Murphy had a hat trick as a member of the Blue Jays a couple of years ago down at Homewood. Murphy, skip pass. And a shot ripped home by Jack Brennan. 2-0 Terps, as they've had the better of it so far here in the Dome today. The #1 team in the country, freshly crowned over Virginia in the polls coming out last week. They're acted like it early in the Dome. 2 early goals. The most recent from Jack Brennan. Top-ranked Terps, a 2-0 lead.
USAA is made for the safe pilots, like Sergeant Hayden, who won't return a call until the engine's cool. With USAA Safe Pilot, when you drive safe, you can save up to 30% on your auto insurance. USAA, what you're made of, we're made for.
All right, back at the Dome. You can feel the history in the Dome today. Brian Higgins, Ryan Powell with you. The 22 of Gary Gate hanging today. Ryan, first lacrosse player in Orange history to get his number retired. And, well, there's your name on that list. How about that list, Ryan? You look at those players starting with Gate and through Charlie Lockwood, you and your brothers. It has been quite a lineage of the 22s here over the years.
Yeah, for sure. I remember being a young kid and making the 90-minute drive from West Carthage, New York, here to the Dome, and being able to witness the Gate brothers, and in particular Gary. And we would drive back home and go out in the backyard and play until late in the evening every single night. And my brother Casey was always number 22, so I rocked the 19 at that time. But the 22 number for Syracuse lacrosse is just gigantic in so many different ways.
Okay, so you were rocking the Paul Gate, did you, back in the day? Paul was here today as well for his brother's jersey retirement. His number, one would imagine, will be up there sooner than later next to his identical twins. That was a second face-off violation on Jacob Fobb. That could loom right here over the rest of the first half.
Yeah, they got to start getting some face-offs, and like I said, they got to have some big-time saves as well.
2 early goals here from Maryland. Not really early. The Orange defense has been standing in there, but they've been on defense a lot here in the opening 10-plus minutes.
They really have. I think both defenses rather have been playing excellent so far.
McNaney's just had the saves. Wisnauskas through traffic and scores. He took them all on. Logan Wisnauskas, his first career game in the Dome for the former Orange, go figure, makes it 3-0.
Wisnauskas, just a veteran getting the job done. Great understanding of the game. Sees the slides coming right in front of his face. Does a great little roll dodge right here. Banging off the defenseman, the big body. And then he finds the bottom part of the net and sticks one home.
I mean, he ran right into Sam Alexo like he wasn't even there and just spun back to the middle and scored. Wisnauskas, his 153rd career goal as a Terrapin in his 5th year playing for Maryland. Face-off won by the Orange. Their first face-off win since the opening draw of the game. And Syracuse, 28 goals last week. But you got to remember the opponent. And #1 Maryland providing a stiffer test at the defensive end than Holy Cross did a week ago. Seabold will run out of the box here. Well, he'll get to the crease to Cook. Shot saved by McNaney. He's been hot here in the opening quarter. Ground ball scrum. Push. Maryland ball. Well, how about Logan McNaney? You know it, Ryan. Sometimes goalies come here into the Dome and it's too big for them and you can't see the ball very well. That's not been the case for the Terps second-year starter. Yeah,
that was Syracuse's best shot of the afternoon. And McNaney came up with a big-time save, and he is playing very well. He's seeing the ball excellent.
Brennan completes the clear from Maryland. Terps looking to go up 4-0 here. Quick slide, though, by Griffin Cook. Got it out. He's one of the best riding offensive players the Orange have had the last few years. Griffin Cook now draws a man, finds Curry. Curry's going to be on the field basically the whole darn game today. At least that is the plan. Now the Orange will settle it down with Dordovic. Curry appears to be playing on attack right now, but the labels in the offense today don't seem to matter that much for Syracuse.
Yeah, they're playing in all different spots. Exactly what Coach Gate said that we were going to see. A little bit more of a box offense, a little bit more of freelance out there. No given spots, no set plays.
Dordovic's pass dropped and rescooped by Berkman. Basically, you're going to see Curry, Dordovic, and Owen Seabold on the field all game, somewhere. And that is interference called on Berkman for the turnover.
No, I don't like that call. Don't like it, but got him on a moving screen. they're going to go the other way.
So the Terps get another stop. The Orange still without a goal here. As we get into the final few minutes of the opening quarter, Maryland throws it away, and a long pass intended for Wisnauskas.
Coach Tillman can't like that. That's uncharacteristic of Maryland lacrosse right there. A bad, sloppy turnover.
Especially in their third game of the year. A team that's just south coming into today of 90% on their clears. Fails on one there. Buttermore will run on this midfield pairing. They're running a lot of Curry with pick two midfielders, or Dordovic or Siebold with pick two other guys. Is kind of how they're doing it today, at least is the initial plan. Yet to result, though, in an Orange goal. Curry tests the left alley that time. Now Maryland knows all about Brendan Curry. Now Dordovic. This Maryland defense solid as advertised in the early going.
Very good matchup here for Dordovic with this short stick. Expect a little spin out of this.
He's got the shorty behind. Dordovic, quick pass and another save by McNaney, stopping Tyler Cordes, the freshman.
Not taking anything away from McNaney, but Syracuse is making a lot of this pretty easy on him right now. There's been 3 of their 5 or 6 shots that I've seen so far that have been stick side high. You got to make that goaltender move his stick.
Not a lot of level changes. And you're right, he hasn't had to move a lot to make the saves. Makes the job a lot easier. 4 saves already, though, for McNaney. Kyle Long, the All-American, finds DeMeo. Wisnauskas again. 2 for Logan Wisnauskas and a 4-0 Terps lead. Pat.
Well, like we talked about, great goaltending play here in the early going. They're not making a move too much, and then at the other end, transition comes a little bit. Wisnowski is doing a great job right in the middle of the field, floating, finding space. He takes a lot of attention for that Syracuse defense to pay attention to him. He's been finding some creases and some seams and putting the ball to the back of the net.
Well, Logan Wisnauskas 2 goals today as the Orange call a timeout here. Ryan and Gary Gate needs to talk it over, as does that guy, Dave Petromala, to get his defense set. But they have a bear of a guy to deal with in Logan Wisnauskas today. And Wisnauskas, he's wearing the famed Maryland #1 here, Ryan. And the lineage is not as long as the 22, but look at this. It started in the 90s with Andrew Whipple. I think it really got cranking when Joe Walters was an All-American. And how about these last few years? Connor Kelly last year, the Tewaaraton goes to Jared Bernhardt, and now it lands on the back of Logan Wisnauskas.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big-time number, and it's starting to make a name for itself, just like the famed 22 jersey here in Syracuse. But you see that list of players right there. They've gone on to have successful professional careers. They played at an extremely high level in college. Matt Rambo is one of the very best players in professional lacrosse right now. And so it's pretty cool to see that another university is doing their own thing with a great number like #1, and like we have here in Syracuse with the 22.
Well, in an alternate universe, Wisnauskas could be playing for that guy. He was a freshman at Syracuse. This is how long ago this is, and COVID years, redshirt, how long people are in college these days, Ryan. He was a freshman at Syracuse in 2017. That makes him a year older than 5th-year players for the Orange, Brendan Curry and Tucker Dordovic. So he's been in college for a long, long time. His 5th year at Maryland, his 5th year playing and starting for Maryland, and he's on pace to set their records, all-time points leader, all that stuff. If he just has an average season, we're going to find him this year, and he's having much more than an average season here, 2.5 games in.
Yeah, absolutely, and a 57 straight point streak that he's working on as well. Make it 58 now. He's got that more than covered here today in the first half of the game. But, that's pretty impressive, too, keeping your body healthy and going out there and against the defenses that he plays against and getting so much attention that you're able to go out there and score a point in 57, now 58 straight.
58, a.k.a. all of them. He has scored in every game that he's ever played in. Pretty darn good. I mean, he was at Syracuse long enough ago. The best players on that team, the All-Americans in that orange team, was the midfield line of Sergio Salcedo and Nick Mariano. His pass to the crease for Seabold sails out of the stick errantly of Lucas Quinn, playing in his first game of the year.
Again, like the offense right there out of the orange, just a bad pass by Quinn and sailed it a little bit high on Seabold, but great movement. It was wide open. Seabold was going to have a great shot on the cage, but Quinn just sailed it a little bit high.
Well, the Orange in danger of going through the first quarter scoreless today. They had 19 at halftime last week, and again, we cannot stress this too much, how different it is playing Holy Cross in Maryland.
Well, you can see as you're watching this game right now, Maryland's defense is extremely legit. Yes, they have a good offense, but super impressed with them on the defensive end. Great communication, good slide packages, and their short stick D middies can flat out play.
Now, it's a program that has been both the best and the most consistent in college lacrosse over the course of the last decade. A regular on championship weekend, 6 of the last 10 national title games, and the guy you mentioned, Matt Rambo, led them to the 2017 national title. Looking for a 5-0 lead. Few second difference game in shot clock late in the quarter. Keegan Khan working on Fraderigo. Maryland's got to get a move on here, just 5 to shoot. Running out of room. Wisnauskas for his third, and a big save for Gavin.
Big time save, much needed right now. See if Syracuse can come and get a G here at the other end.
Didn't seem to quite have eyes on the clock there as they were clearing it, but it was all Maryland in the opening quarter. The score indicates what we just watched over the last 15 minutes. The Terps dominated early, and Wisnauskas dominated often in the opening quarter. 4-0 Terps through 15 here in the Dome.
TurboTax Live matches you with the right tax expert. I've been paired with you because I have expertise that applies to your life.
So you're a perfect match for a freelancer who just bought a home that's also her office?
That's right.
What if?
I invest in crypto in my hometown of Gravity, Iowa.
Then I would say you're down to earth and help you report your gains and losses.
What if I work in London, live in New York, and shot a Super Bowl commercial in Los Angeles?
I can sort that all out for you. Get matched to your tax.
Well, a pretty good list of names in the Carrier Dome Ring of Honor. Jim Boeheim, Jim Brown, Heisman Trophy winner Ernie Davis, Floyd Little, the Pearl. And we'll see a new one coming up at halftime. Ryan, that's where your old coach, Roy Simmons Jr. is going, and what better guy than Slugger to have his name up there for everything he's meant both to this university at Syracuse and to the sport of lacrosse.
Yeah, absolutely. An amazing man. Learned so much from him, and having the opportunity to play for him for a couple years. And I know the Simmons family very well, and I've been able to go over and sit at Coach Simmons's kitchen table and hear some stories and tell some stories, and great friendship. And you know, he's you hear it all the time, but you know, just as good, if not a better person off the field when he doesn't have a whistle around his neck than he is running a practice and things like that. So well deserved, and you know, hearing you call out the names as we're running down the list, that's some pretty good company to join for him as well.
Face-off won by Fopp. We saw a shot there on the sideline of Roy 3. That's Roy's son, of course, now in his 30th year in one way or another on the Orange staff. The Ring of Honor is so interesting. You say, oh, Jim Brown's up there and Roy Simmons Jr., and then think, well, they were college lacrosse teammates back in the late 50s here, playing for the original Roy Simmons. And all of them are Lacrosse Hall of Famers. And Maryland has possession yet again here to begin the second quarter. And Ryan, that's the story of the game so far. Maryland has had the ball pretty much the whole time.
Yeah, they're dominating the time of possession right now, and they're dominating the shots on cage right now. So Syracuse got to turn this thing around.
Ball turned aside. Gavin didn't see it. It almost got deflected into the net. Donville had the initial shot, but again, the Terps maintain possession with DeMeo. He gets a step on Aviles and goes off stick high and blows it past Gavin for a 5-0 lead. All Terps
Yeah, DeMeo with a great underneath move right here, keeps that stick protected out in front of him for as long as he possibly can so it doesn't get the trail check put on his stick, and then a great placement on his shot. Not always do you have to put it right in the exact corner. You just got to beat that goaltender, make him move his stick the furthest place away on the cage to make the save. He put that in a great place, and he got the big time G. Number 16, DeMeo's got some great speed. And an awesome goal right there for Maryland to put him up by 5.
Well, you talk about Wisnauskas and all these stars on Maryland. It's easy to overlook a guy like Anthony DeMeo. He's a 4-year starter on the first midfield line for Maryland and has more than 70 career goals. He's a bona fide All-American in his own right. Orange with possession after the faceoff. Here's Owen Siebel needing a goal. Now more than 16 minutes in without one, Ryan. Each possession that goes by without it feels more and more important at this end of the field.
Yeah, it really does. And,
And finally from the outside, Lucas Quinn, first game of the year, first shot of the year, and his first goal of the year.
Well, you see 16, Curry, he sets this one up. You got to respect his speed. Just a speed dodge down the right-hand side. Maryland trying to help just a little bit. He gets it back to Quinn, and Quinn puts down a worm burner down to the bottom part of the cage. And then, as you can tell, he pumps up the crowd a little bit. The Syracuse bench goes nuts. So a much-needed goal out of Syracuse. We'll see if it changes momentum a little bit.
Well, you talked about it, Ryan. How many saves had McNaney made? High, stick side. Finally moved him a bit and found the back of the net.
Yeah, I think it's the first time that he made a save down low. Or had a shot down low, rather.
Fopp and Weirman tangled. That'll be a loose ball push on Weirman. And the Orange will gain possession again, a chance to go make it ticket. Orange with a slight advantage in faceoffs. You figure if Syracuse will have a chance to crawl back into it, they'll need Fopp to dominate that number here today. No surprise that Curry's out here again. The plan is Curry on the field, pick 2 other guys to play with him at midfield today. And Curry just had the assist. It's the same alley dodge. Now Siebold behind. Owen Siebold had 5 goals last week, matching his career high. Now Dordovic. Yeah, Dordovic new to the attack game. He spent many years as an All-American midfielder. Dordovic, free, low, and another goal. Same shot, same result. Quinn, then Dordovic, and the Orange finally on the board back-to-back.
I absolutely love 23 Tucker Dordovic's game, and why I love it so much is that he can shoot lefty and righty just as fast. That opens up the door for so many different things. You got to respect a player like that when you're playing defense on him. To be that threat shooting lefty right there, obviously he didn't. Quick roll back, he's got extremely quick feet, rolls back, puts the stick back in his right hand, and then cans one to the back of the net.
What, Ryan's the challenge for him this year, going from a career lifer at Nitty to attack?
Yeah, it's a lot different actually. He's used to the speed dodge coming from up top, and now he's doing a lot more quicker movements from behind the cage. So he doesn't get the opportunity to get going full speed as much and then make a roll or a shift dodge and go the other direction.
So the face-off numbers there are creeping up in advantage of Jacob Fopp. And Syracuse now make it take it in a 3rd consecutive possession, trying to get back in this game. Well, John Tildeman told us this week, hey, he knows he's got the #1 squad right now. Curry, shot stopped by McNaney. They said, you go to the Dome, I don't care what the ranking is, Syracuse is still Syracuse.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a tough place to come, and especially when you get big crowds. I remember playing here, man, and it was so much fun playing in front of big crowds because you can feel the energy.
Yeah, this is what you get here that you don't get many other places in the college lacrosse world. Cook behind the cage. Defender hung up. Now Puglisi comes out to give him a look. Slide. And Griffin Cook evades. Get late in the shot clock. Curry inverting. Curry hits the deck. Shot clock near expiring. Ball out, now fast break. Here's Matt Rahill, big time numbers for the Terps. Draws a man, Molliver to the crease, Wisnauskas couldn't handle it. But Maryland will maintain possession. Orange lucky there for the moment anyway. Oliver's shot is high and wide.
Yeah, great stick by 90, Grant Murphy on the defensive end on that fast break.
And a timeout wisely called by Gary Gate here just to get the defense set here. Well, it was all Terps in the opening quarter. Orange starting to get back into it here in the Dome with back-to-back goals. 5-2 Terps.
I earned 3% cash back at drugstores with Chase Freedom Unlimited. So I got cards for birthdays, holidays, graduations. I'm covered for everything. Which reminds me, thank you for driving me to the drugstore. Earn big time with Chase Freedom Unlimited with no annual fee. How do you cash back?
Oliver, the sophomore attackman for Maryland, normally number 4. Ryan, he's wearing number 11 today in honor of his mentor, his coach in the Atlanta area, and the all-time great Orange attackman, John Zalberti, who tragically passed away this past August the 1st, a 4-time All-American, a 2-time Turnbull Award winner, and had a great effect on Eric's life. And along with Liam Banks, they were kind of the Pied Pipers of the lacrosse community down in Atlanta here for the last decade or so.
Yeah, absolutely. And, in August of this past year, we lost a great person in the sport of lacrosse. You think about all the different teams across the country, and I don't care what the program was that you played in. There's been some really special people in lacrosse, and a little extra special with number 11 and Z and his orange Chucky Taylors, and kind of what he's meant for the game of lacrosse across the country has been so impactful. But an amazing dude. I spent a lot of time with him, and he will certainly be missed forever.
White, number 38. Push. 30.
Penalty ensemble, Exo 32nd push, and Zalberti, even in the lacrosse world, was a unique spirit around these parts and whatever, but it felt like he really connected down in Atlanta with the kids that he was bringing up. And a guy like Oliver, he had a significant impact that's going to last for many years and down in that neck of the woods. As Maryland here goes man up. See if they can strike again here and stretch their lead back to 4. Wisnowski's great pass to the crease, and the finish inside by Jonathan Donville, the Canadian, and it's 6-2. 100th career assist for Logan Wisnowskis.
100th career assist. What a find right here. Great vision. Right on the doorstep. And Donville stretches out those arms a little bit right there, and then cans it to the back of the net. Great vision, great catch and finish. That was a little bit too easy. The man down unit there's got to be a little bit stiffer, and you can't have those easy dunks. You can give up the outside shot, but you can't give up the dunks, and that was just way too easy.
And a guy like Donville, he was the number 1 pick in the NLL draft for box lacrosse this past offseason, and he catches the ball there, it's going in the net. The former Cornell player transferring, a grad transfer to Maryland for his 5th year this year. Didn't get to play last year when the Ivy League was shut down. Face-off scrum, one picked up by Maryland. Kahn, cross crease. Shot goes flailing high, that time from Oliver. And the Orange end up with possession again. Perhaps lucky to avoid giving up a 7th. The Orange offense, Ryan, the last 2 times they had it, they found in the back of the net. We'll see if that continues this time down.
Yeah, I think Curry's, shown that he's kind of, even when he's drawing a long stick, he's kind of the option. He's the guy that makes the back of the Maryland defense have to slide and go a little bit.
This time Curry shoots off target, snatched up regardless by McNaney.
McNaney's on fire. I'm going to just tell you that right now. Let's be honest. He's on fire today.
Transition. That was Jake Higgins denied by Gavin. That's a big save for the Orange. Possible transition the other way with Griffin Cook, but Maryland back on defense. Tordovic already down there awaiting. Cordes will join Cook with Curry on this Syracuse midfield line. But just 2 goals on the board for Syracuse more than 20 minutes into the game. That tells you so much about how tough this Maryland defense is. Cook. The freshman Cordes, without Tordovic rather. Tordovic's got one of the 2 Orange goals today, along with Lucas Quinn. There's the freshman Cordes. A touch for Curry and a pass behind for Berkman. Nearly turned over, but Syracuse maintains. It's Mikey Berkman, a junior out of Florida. To the shoe tops of Dordovic. A high blast, but misses the cage. Well, we've seen those 2 goals were scored by the Orange right at the feet of McNaney, but they've not gone back to those shots since.
Yeah, the placement on their shots has not been good.
And a softball from Curry intended for Buttermore, intercepted, and the Orange give it away.
Those are just killers right there. You look at big games and being down by 4 right now at this stage of the game, just an unforced turnover. It's just sloppy, careless.
Maryland transition off the pipe by Bubba Fairman, who's moved to D-Midi this year from first line midi. You know he can score. Now they'll go the other way. McNaney was all the way past midfield. He's back to his crease. And can the Orange take advantage quickly? This will be a timeout called by Syracuse to set up the offense here. Take their final timeout of the half, Ryan, and I wonder what you go to here. It's been a little discombobulated the last couple of possessions. We'll see what Pat March and Gary Gait look for to break down this almost impenetrable Maryland defense so far.
Yeah, I give a lot of credit to Maryland, Coach Tillman and his staff, and what he's been able to do on the defensive end. They're just suffocating right now, and to be honest with you, you're through a quarter and a half. I'm like watching this game and I'm trying to figure out where Syracuse should go with the ball, and I'm just not seeing any great matchups right now. Curry's kind of the guy that's been able to do a couple things so far, but there's not a lot of matchups that Syracuse is winning right now. Even when you look at it with their short stick D-middies, they're solid for Maryland. They're not getting beat. Slide packages aren't having to rotate and come, and it's making it difficult on even getting shots off at this point.
Well, it might be easier for Syracuse on offense today, Ryan, if they had their full complement of guys that they hope to have this season. Owen Hiltz injured in the scrimmage. Stephen Rafis last year as a 6-year senior graduated, and the Chase Scanlon saga unfortunately dominated the Orange season last year. He is no longer with the program, but Hiltz is a guy they are missing significantly this year. That injury now only 3 weeks ago. It's hard, if not impossible, to replace a guy like that.
Yeah, no doubt. Number 77, he's one of their top guys and a very important piece of the puzzle on the offensive end, and it certainly stings not having him in the lineup. Now that said, you got to adjust and go out there and play your best lacrosse with the guys that you got out there on the field. But Hiltz has got an awesome understanding of the game. He can feed, he can shoot, and he fits into this offense that Syracuse is going for. Box lacrosse background, the indoor game, grew up playing that, so the game that he likes to play, and you can tell out here they're really missing an extra punch right now, but we'll see if they can continue to dissect some different matchups here and start getting Maryland to slide. But right now, like I was saying, Brian, I'm not really seeing anybody that's clearly winning their matchups when they have the ball. Those guys wearing white right now.
Yeah, that's why having a guy like Hiltz, and you saw him there on the sideline in the sling, he's out indefinitely. I don't think Syracuse expects him back anytime soon. And a big loss to the offense. He can win his matchup without actually having to beat a guy. He wins his matchup by standing still, some of the stuff he does. Here's Dordovic off the timeout. We'll see what Gary Gait and Pat March have drawn up, and it's a goal for Tucker Dordovic. He scored with the left, and now he scores with the right.
This really starts back with Curry dodging across the top of the field, and it makes Maryland come with a short stick on Dordovic. And that's a great advantage to Syracuse in number 23 when that's the situation. The guy's super explosive, he's really quick, and he's got a rocket shot. So, that's a great offensive possession right there for Syracuse, having Curry start with the ball, get a lot of attention towards him, and then Syracuse moves the ball to the backside, and Dordovic finds a way to put it to the back of the net.
Well, Fopp won the clamp on that faceoff, but Maryland and Bubba Fairman end up with possession. So the Terps have the ball. The Orange had a little make it, take it going earlier this quarter, and a chance there, but couldn't snag the ground ball. It was 7 minutes to go in the half, and the top-ranked Terps leading in the Dome 6-3. It's amazing. This is only the third time ever, Ryan, that Maryland has played in this building. Once in the year they shared in the ACC. How quick we are all to forget that in 2014. That was a dominant Terps win, 16-8. And the other time, way back, this was the Final Four in the Orange first title season in 1983. Terps turn it over. Picked up by Max Rosa. Rosa made the switch to D-Midi midway through last season. Will clear it. The crowd trying to urge the Orange back into it here in the latter stages of the first half. And you see Curry out there in the midfield. The plan is basically to play him until he's tired. It hasn't happened yet.
No, he's not going to get tired in this game. He wants to be out there every minute.
What a week the Orange have. Number one today, and then the other number one on Saturday. Syracuse heads to Clocker to take on Virginia. Outside shot, and a sprawling save by McNaney. It was almost like he tripped and stuck up his stick and kept it out. He's limping a bit behind the play. I'm not sure how he stopped that one. Turnover forced at midfield on the ride. Cook took it away. Seabold now, cranking, firing. Ball deflected. And ends up with Berkman. You see how McNaney is. He was coming up with a bit of a limp after that last stop. But he's been spectacular so far today.
He really has. Syracuse seems to be getting a little bit more energy here on the offensive end. We're liking what they're seeing all of a sudden.
Curry draws his slide, but the slide took the ball away from him. It's Owen Probilski, the other of their Villanova grad transfers with Keegan Khan. Maryland went to the transfer portal this year and did some high-level shopping with the likes of Khan, Donville, and Probilski. And again, McNaney well out of his crease into the box, and he took it all the way up the field. He's been roaming a lot today, and that will lead. Well, an offsides by Maryland. They didn't account for the goalie. McNaney was so far up the field, it's kind of easy to lose count. You're trying to count long poles, you forget to count the goalie stick. And he makes it all the way back to his cage. He's been an adventurous clearer so far today. Kind of fun to see those goalies that aren't afraid to head anywhere on the field. Can the Orange turn that turnover into a goal? It's stabilized here for Syracuse, but you're still down 3 here to number 1.
Yeah, another goal right here would be huge for the Orange. They would be feeling pretty good about themselves with everything that's happened in the time of possession battle.
Dordovic for Quinn to the crease. Berkman trying to golf it in, couldn't quite maintain. Seabold splits a triple team. Sort of. Ball is out. He's on his back. Finally picked up by the Terps, and now fast break. Numbers for Maryland. Here comes Jack Corus. Draws a man. A trailing shot rifled into the upper right corner. Gabe Goforth. Making Roman Puglisi, who scores length of the field, and Maryland turns defense, Rhino, into a full field fast break.
Yeah, this has happened 3 or 4 times now where Maryland's pushed down in transition. This time they take their time, show extreme patience, and they got the trailer coming behind the play. Pugliese with a big-time goal, number 8 for Maryland.
Roman Puglisi, Ryan, he's a 5-year top D midi for the Terps. And timeout here by Maryland just so the Terps can catch their breath here. But Puglisi's a guy, he doesn't score a lot of goals, but when he does, they matter. How about he had a goal in each of the final 4 games last year, and he's one of these D middies that makes Maryland so dangerous. They got the defense, they got the offense, and they've shown now they got the transition game too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a big-time shot right to the upper 90 of the cage. Thank you for the pronunciation help on that guy's name there. You're the professional. I come in and do the lacrosse chat.
There you are. You can tell me where he's at on the field, right? Roman Puglisi. He's another one of these 5th-year guys. Normally his career would have been over, but you got the extra COVID year. He's back for a 5th year. He was a freshman the year after they won the title, former top 100 recruit. And how about a guy 5 years has dedicated his life to the D-midi role, and he's still out here doing it at one of the top levels really in all the country.
Yeah, there's the short stick D-middies and the face-off guys and the goalies. In lacrosse we just talk about, they're just built different. They're just different types of people. And from my experience playing here in college and then going to play the pros, that short stick D position, you don't get a lot of notoriety for playing the position, but they're grinders. They go out there, they're the hardest workers at practice, and they take pride in stopping the offenses from sticking goals all the time. And anytime you can get it in a transition and you get a shot on cage like that, get pumped.
And sometimes that transition starts with your goalie. And how about Logan McNaney so far today for Maryland, Ryan? It started early for him, and he's been hot the entire first half.
Yeah, he's been seeing the ball extremely well. Sometimes when you start out a game, you can tell that the goaltender's not seeing the ball great, but he's been seeing it excellent the whole game. I think Syracuse could do a better job of changing up the plane on their shots. We've seen them be successful when they've tried to go low on them a little bit more, and they've shot stick side high a couple times, but take nothing away from that kid number 30 and what he's doing between the pipes right now. He's playing big time. He's seeing the ball well, and it's again another piece of the puzzle from being the #1 team in the country. You've got to have high-level players in the key positions on the field.
Well, McNaney's at 70% today. 10 shots on cage, and he stopped 7 of them. And we'll see, is he going to be one of the next line of great Maryland goalies with the likes of Kyle Bernlord, Nico Amato, just the second year starting?
Oh, don't forget about my man Brian Doherty.
Oh, we can't do that. The Doc was, the PLL announced the Pro Lacrosse Hall of Fame earlier this week, and there was no debate. Of course, the Doc was the goalie.
No debate. The guy is legendary. Awesome person, one of my best friends in lacrosse.
Another save by McNaney. Brian Doherty, how about this? It was your brother's freshman year, that 95 title team for the Orange. And Syracuse wins the title. Brian Doherty was so good in that Final Four that he was the most outstanding player in Maryland lost. Alexo with the turnover, and the Orange get it back. He and Grant Murphy combine to take it away. And can the Orange get one here, down 4 in the waning 2.5 minutes of the opening half? So I was referring more to John Tillman's goalies, but we can't forget the Hall of Famer. He's in every Hall of Fame that exists now, much like Gary Gait and Brian Doherty. Played for the big man, Dick Adele, back in the day. Shot by Dordovic, and a hat trick for Tucker. It all started, Ryan, with Sam Alexo.
Yeah, just a little poke check right there. Gets the ball back for Syracuse. After the poke check, excellent ground ball. And then it comes down to the offensive end. And again, Tucker Dordovic. I think that he might have heard me saying that no one's stepping up and winning their matchups, because since I said that, he's gone on and rattled off 2 goals with one-on-one matchups. He's looking powerful, strong, extremely fast. He's placing the ball in good spots, and he's really keeping Syracuse in it at this time.
And think about the foot injury that cost him his then sophomore year. That was so long ago, back in 2019. He's now a 5th-year junior. Maryland in transition. That's their face-off man, Weirman. He scored 2 last week, but misses high this time down. Terps, though, back it up. Weirman dangerous in the transition game. 7-4. It's hanging around that 3-goal deficit. Orange were in danger of getting run out of the dome early, trailing 5-0 into the second quarter. We sit at a 3-goal game right now in the final 2 minutes of the half. Well, Syracuse has to feel they're in it here, but it is tough to break all the way through against this Terps team. Kyle Long. Now Wisnauskas, haven't mentioned him in a while. Found a cutter. DeMeo walks in all alone. And he walked in too far. He stepped in the crease. Wow. That was a gimme goal.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was a good goal, actually, watching it in real time. But referees were on the call and saw something that I didn't.
He was completely unguarded. Had to surprise him. Yeah, that's a big call here. We close on a minute to go in the half, and the Orange, if they want, can hold for almost the last shot here. I don't know if Dordovic feels like waiting right now, though, with the hot streak he's on.
Dordovic's feeling like he's on fire right now. Deservedly so. It's the way he should feel.
He's got 3 of the 4. Here's Berkman. The Orange will slow it down here. There's 9-10 seconds difference game in shot clock late in the half. Griffin Cook, another guy that can play attack or mid for this versatile Orange offense. Behind, it's Quinn, and there's his second, and Syracuse is back with it 2.
This is exactly what Coach Gate was talking about on our call this week. Playing a little bit more freelance, a little bit more box style. Lucas Quinn is a midfielder. He's coming up from behind the cage, catching the ball with his back to the cage, and turns around with a nice underhand low rocket to the back of the cage. Seeing some different looks, seeing different players in different positions out there on the field, but it's proven to be effective right now.
Well, both Cook and Quinn were technically playing midfield that possession and might as well have been on attack. Face off by Fopp, and tied up by Weirman.
It's got to be a hold.
The hold will give it to the Orange with 25 to go in the half. And how about this with a quick strike? This could suddenly be a 1-goal game at halftime, out of nowhere. Outstanding first half of action in the Dome today in this much anticipated matchup. Final 10 seconds of the half. Dordovic, he dragged the Orange back in it. Outside rip is home, and it's a hat trick for Quinn. 7-6.
What a shot. Come on, Lucas Quinn. You go on with your bad self, boy.
That was a rocket.
Love what Syracuse is doing right now on the offensive end. Tic-tac-toe passing. Dordovic drawing a lot of attention. D-Mitty's got to slide off Quinn, and Quinn just catches it up top and just cans one. What a shot. Big time goal by Syracuse here in the late stage of the second quarter.
Well, Quinn was banged up, missed a lot of practice and training camp, did not play last week. How's this for your debut here in 2022? Face-off won by Fopp. Just threw it at the net late in the half. Nobody home. We're going to have ourselves a 1-goal game here at halftime. It was 5-0 Terrapins earlier this quarter, and the magic of the Carrier Dome has awoken. Syracuse has clawed back in it, and a huge crowd in the Dome have helped bring the Orange back within 1. Gary Gate saw his number raised before the game. The Terps started hot. The Orange, though, back within 1 here at the half. We'll see Roy Simmons Jr. in the Ring of Honor when we come back.
USAA is made for the safe pilots, like Sergeant Hayden, who won't return a call until the engine's cool. With USAA Safe Pilot, when you drive safe, you can save up to 30% on your auto insurance. USAA, what you're made of, we're made for. Get a quote.
Well, the current Syracuse Orange forming a tunnel for one of the greatest coaches of all time, Roy Simmons Jr. On his way out to the middle of the field, he is about to be honored and entered as the 6th man into the Ring of Honor here in the Carrier Dome today. 6 titles to his name, and it will be displayed permanently here in the Dome.
Well, I was fortunate enough to have my father be a lacrosse coach. So when I was old enough to get to the dining room table, he showed me with a salt and pepper shaker and the sugar bowl, moving things around, what lacrosse was all about. Okay. And also he'd take me to work, and he was a coach. So I wound up being the mascot. The coach's kid was the mascot on the lacrosse team. And I just about old enough to walk. My feet didn't touch the ground when I sat on the bench, but I was involved with lacrosse when I first learned to walk.
Fans, please now welcome to the field Director of Athletics John Wildhack, Dr. Ruth Chen, and today's guest of honor, Roy Simmons Jr. Please join us in welcoming Roy and his family. We now ask that you please turn your attention to 117 as we unveil Roy Simmons Jr. name for permanent recognition in the Ring of Honor. And now, ladies and gentlemen, direct your attention to the video board for a few words from Roy.
I want to thank all the wonderful fans here in the Dome that supported me through my 40 years of coaching. It was a wonderful crowd. I always felt more comfortable in the Dome than anywhere else, of course. And I want to thank the university for believing in me and giving me the opportunity to work here at the university. I taught in the Fine Arts School for a short period of time. I coached the freshman team here when I started for 12 years, and then the rest of my career I was head of the varsity team. It was a great experience, and the university made it all possible for me. I grew up here on the quad as a kid, and I was a mascot on the football and boxing team and lacrosse team when I was just a tyke, shagging balls for my dad, who was the coach. So it's been a great experience for me to be an old Archibald here, right in this very spot where the Dome is now. I was a ball boy and played lacrosse here as a student, and it's all come 360. I'm back in the Dome, or Archibald Stadium as I call it, and it's been a thrill to work for Syracuse University. I'm working on my 5th chancellor now, and they've all been very supportive of the lacrosse program here in Syracuse, and I owe a lot to the university for the opportunity. The university opened my eyes. I was a fine arts major. They opened my eyes to things that were available and possible for me to do. And so I traveled all over the world while I was a lacrosse coach as a result of the university education I got here. So I want to thank everybody, and I wish everybody in the building today blue skies and green lights.
Congratulations, Roy. You have joined the ranks of Syracuse legends and will forever be recognized for your amazing career.
Well, he said earlier this week he didn't think his name belonged with the rest of the group up there, but absolutely does here in the Syracuse campus, the Syracuse community, and here in the Carrier Dome. Roy Simmons Jr.'s name in the Ring of Honor for all time here in this building. Step aside here for a few at the half. Good one in the Dome. We'll tell you about that. We'll get Ryan Powell's thoughts on his old head coach as well. 7-6 Terps in the Dome. Back in the Dome, halftime here. Nobody in the history of lacrosse quite like that guy, Roy Simmons Jr. 7-6 here at the break. Maryland leading Syracuse. Brian Higginson, Ryan Powell. And Ryan, that guy there, he was your head coach for at least the first half of your career. You were here during the transition from Simi to Desco, but there's nobody quite like Roy Simmons Jr. in really the entire history of the sport.
Yeah, no, I like the way that you say that. Coach Simmons Jr. has just been an amazing ambassador for the sport of lacrosse. He's been great for Syracuse University. The players, anybody that's ever played for that man right there, he's so well respected. He's so much, he's so loved, and the Simmons name is forever a part of Syracuse lacrosse, and you know, the footprint that he has laid down for this program is unmatched, and he's really the man that started something very special here in Syracuse.
Yeah, he won the first national title here in 1983, added 5 more to that, and won 3 of them with some guy named Gary Gate is the best player on his team. And before the game here today, Ryan, his number goes up in the rafters, and a big day for Gary. He's been coaching the game as well, but Gary made an indelible mark the sport of lacrosse.
Hey, talk about two men, both Coach Simmons Jr. and now Gary, what he's done for this program, coming from Canada, and you know, the creativity and the electricity that he played the game with, and you know what he's done for the sport of lacrosse just in general, with so many you know, wonderful lacrosse players across the globe. Whether that's youth lacrosse players or even guys that played with him, it's unmatched what Gary Gate has done for the sport of lacrosse.
Yeah, the numbers, the goals, the championships, all of that says one thing about Gary. But what he and his brother Paul did, Ryan, is they added, you said it, a style and a flair to the sport, which I think really drew people in.
Yeah, for sure. You know about the air gate. Most people know about that, jumping from behind the cage, but. Yeah, right there, getting introduced together. They used to come out together, and hidden ball trick right here. So just things that American lacrosse players, or at least when I was a kid growing up, just did not see, weren't a witness to until number 22 and number 19 came on the turf here in the Carrier Dome. And the creativity, you know, like I said, with the behind the backs and the between the legs, my brothers and I, we would watch them, we would go home, and we would try to do those things that they did. So they have put a lot of fuel on the fire to the sport of lacrosse.
What's crazy here about the air gate, as we see it, Ryan, is that game, when it debuted, that was the Final Four. Gary didn't debut that in like week 2. He did it twice against Penn in a close game in the Final Four.
Yeah, for sure. And that's you know, why it's so legendary, is because it wasn't a big moment in a big game. And you know, number 22, it's the most famous move in lacrosse. It's you know, the air gate.
And then he never got to do it again, because after that season, they banned it. That's how good the move was by Gary Gate. Not that anybody else was going to be able to pull it off. Anyway, all right, let's step aside here for a few in the Dome. We'll get back to the great action we've seen on the field after this. Top-ranked Terps clinging to a 1-goal lead over the Orange, who've rallied back in the second quarter.
Isn't it time we thank our eyes for maintaining focus in the face of pressure, and for showing us you don't have to bowl a good game to have a good time? Thank your eyes by enrolling in a VSP Vision Plan. Learn how at VSP.com.
Back in the Dome, getting close to the start of the third quarter. Terps 7, Syracuse 6 at the break. And it was all Maryland, Ryan, early in this game. And it was all Maryland because of this guy, big number 1, Logan Wisniewskis.
Yeah, he's a talented lacrosse player, and going to go down and, you know, be legendary in Maryland lacrosse history for sure. Great scorer. He can shoot the ball well. He's got great vision. So do it all attack, and like I said in the open.
Well, he helped lead Maryland to a 5-0 lead in the game. It looked like it might be a runaway until Tucker Dordovic showed up in a big way.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We were looking for a good matchup there out of Syracuse, and 23 just said, you know what, I'm the guy, let's rock and roll. And he's stepped up, and he's kept Syracuse around, kept them in it, and he's a big-time part of the success here for the Orange.
Well, about time here for the third quarter face-off with Fopp and Wehrman. And Ryan, to be honest, we didn't know what to expect today. We didn't know how game 2 of Gary Gate was going to go against Maryland. And then it's 5-0. This has changed in a huge way in about the last 9 minutes or so of the half.
Absolutely. Maryland was dominating for the first quarter and a half in time of possession and shots on cage. And Syracuse has roared back. And the Carrier Dome crowd is behind him and energized.
And Sam Alexo, a long pull shot, could have tied it, and just misses wide. Well, that would have been a way to pick up a first career goal. But the Orange do have possession, Ryan, here to start the second half, and my goodness, a chance to tie the game. This seemed almost impossible back when it was 5-0.
Yeah, it really did. Syracuse is starting to find their mojo on the offensive end. They're playing with a lot more chip and a lot more heart, and the energy that they're displaying right now is what we saw against Holy Cross. I know a different game, but they played with some serious energy in that game, and you're starting to see a good glimpse of that now.
And it's been coming from Dordovic and Lucas Quinn. Each of them have a hat trick. How about Owen Siebold for the tie? Stopped. Another save by McNaney. Tight to the pipe, no room for Siebold to get that in.
Yeah, no room. Great move by Siebold. Awesome little spin dodge that he just pulled off there on the short stick behind the cage, but no angle and no room.
So Terp's ball here. Early stages of this third quarter figure to be interesting. I think if Syracuse catches all the way up, or can Maryland stretch it back out again? See what adjustments were made at halftime, and we know that on the Maryland side with John Tillman, one of the top coaching outfits in the country. DeMeo, a trailing long. Wisnauskas in his sweet spot. Orange slide. Long. And he pings it past Bobby Gavin and Maryland. The first goal of the half, the stretch the lead back to 2, and the sideline mosh pit in full force.
This all started up top just with a little cat and mouse game out of the midfielders that gave the advantage to Maryland, who came with a little extra numbers there in a transition plays, and Syracuse never recovered from it. So great shot, good finish by Long, and the perfect answer, and your Coach Tillman in the locker room right there, and let's go out and get the first goal in the second half, and they sure did, and it's a big time goal.
Not called Kyle Long's name much today, but hey, he was an All-American last year. This guy knows how to score big-time goals. Orange to win the face-off here. Jacob Fopp starting to have his way. That turn happened in the second quarter, and not coincidentally at all when the game turned a bit in Syracuse's favor. There's Jacob Buttermore missed last week. So today, much like Quinn, his first action of the season. Dordovic looking for his fourth. Dordovic saved again by McNaney.
Another great save there, but again, you see the placement of the shot selection, stick side high. Great move by Dordovic, 23 to get his hands free. Bounce that shot, get it up to a corner. Don't go right at the goaltender's stick.
We've said it time and time again today. McNaney's been outstanding, but his job is being made easier by Syracuse.
It's being made easier right now, yes. But he is playing lights out. I like his energy, like the clear game that he's been laying out there today. So very good netminder.
Save for the save he made from his back, diving to the side. That one not made easier.
I'm still trying to figure out why he was on his back.
I don't know how he did that one, but it worked out. Terp's ball, they've scored the opening goal of the half. Looking for another. Oliver behind the cage, the sophomore out of Atlanta. Oliver. Gavin is creeping out at him. Oliver. Now Frederigo gets back on his hands. Orange defense hanging in deep in this possession. Jack Brennan had an early goal. Brennan. Late shot clock now. Cross crease wide open, and Gavin, his best of the day. He was at Virginia quite literally a month and a half ago. Lost the battle in the fall for goalie there with a freshman Matthew Nunes. Transfers to Syracuse, and his second career game in an Orange uniform is taken on number 1. His third game next week will be against his old team. That was a big one. Both goalies with stops here early in the third. Feels like it would have been a dangerous spot. 3 goals, not a ton. We know that in lacrosse, Ryan, but to go back down 3 against Maryland, the Orange did not want that. Twisting from behind, Berkman misses. And the backup belongs to Maryland. That was still part of the shot.
Not a great look there. Really early in the shot clock. I'd like to see a little bit more ball movement. Execute, find the good matchups, and deliver a high-quality shot. Syracuse had a lot of success at the end of the first half from ball movement, quickness, with the ball moving from one guy's stick to the next. The first couple possessions here, it stayed in one guy's stick, and they're trying to do it all themselves.
About 5 minutes done here in the third. Anthony DeMeo. Long, he's got the only goal thus far of the half. Kyle Long. And now DeMeo again, working on the Orange shorties. Ball deflected by Grant Murphy. Wisnauskas with the big body picks it back up. It is just so hard to get around him. Here's Donville, the Cornell transfer. Long, Wisnauskas, another save by Gavin. And that's where Wisnauskas really operates. We've talked all day long about Logan McNaney. After halftime now, Bobby Gavin, maybe his 2 best stops in the game. He's coming to life. And the Orange, a big possession here, down by 2.
They need Gavin to come up with some big saves for sure. He's had a couple in a row right here, but he's got to keep that momentum rolling. I think if Syracuse is going to be successful and find a way to get the W against the #1 ranked team in the country today, Gavin's got to play spectacular here in the second half, because Maryland's going to continue to get shots and they're going to get high-quality shots.
Well, Maryland went 21 in the opener against High Point, beat Loyola last week 20-8. They have put up goals with a bushel load here in the opening weeks of the season. Gordovic trying to shake. He scored with the left and the right today. Already has a hat trick. So does this guy, Lucas Quinn. They've got all 6 of the Orange goals between the 2 of them. When will anyone else find the scoreboard? Again, late shot clock. Here's Curry, who's been silenced. Dropped by Quinn. Quinn eyeing the shot clock. Just kind of guided that out of bounds to get the defense set. Turnovers pretty even right now. Feels like that's another thing in this game that it switched. The Orange had a few early and forced their fair share in the second quarter. And Maryland has given it away again. Here comes Kennedy. Dangerous in the full field. Brett Kennedy knocked to the ground. There's the flag. And the Orange will go man up. First time of the day, the Orange EMO will head to the field. We'll see if it's just a push or something more.
No, that looked like a flag to me.
Black 5-7, 30-second technical push.
We get the 30-second technical push on Jake Higgins. And here is Brett Kennedy and what he did to draw it.
Look at the speed on number 1-1 right here. That's definitely in the back. That's a good call by the officials. And, first time man-up situation for Syracuse, and this could be a big-time moment right here in this game. Excellent ball movement, producing a high-quality shot. Get a G, and you're back within 1.
Well, we've talked about the Orange lineage of the number 22. The number 11 has been a big-time thing on defense around here for going on 20 years now. And Brett Kennedy in his second year of rocking that special digit for the Orange defense. And he is fast. Quinn, skipping. Curry, high and wide.
Great look there by Quinn to find Curry on the backside. Curry, 16, has missed his mark 2 or 3 times today. Sailed that one pretty high.
Curry was on target early last week, not today. And the Orange turn it over on the extra man. Picked up by Matt Rahill.
That's just a terrible turnover right there for Syracuse. Man-up opportunity. It's passing and catching the ball. We talk so much, young players watching at home. That's why you work hours and hours and hours of wall ball and getting out with a partner out in the backyard and playing catch. Because it's those moments right there that you might not be prepared for.
So in a game like this, you may forgive the aggressive turnover. That one's harder to stomach.
That one is hard, yep.
Terps have the only goal this quarter, more than halfway through. Starting and stopping behind is Kyle Long. Oliver inside Kahn, saved by the leg of Gavin. He's got 3 in a row. Big round ball. Kahn in trouble. Got it out. Donville. Wisnauskas, an outside blast, and the Terps again by 3. All started with a ground ball. So Logan Wisnauskas had a hot early start today. 2 goals as Maryland stretched it to the 5-3 lead. Silent for the second quarter with a big lefty as the Terps back up by 3.
USAA is made for the safe pilots. For Mac, who can come to a stop with barely a bobble. Lucia, who announces her intentions even if no one's there. And Sergeant Moore, who leaves room for her room. With USAA Safe Pilot, when you drive safe, you can save up to 30% on your auto insurance. Get a quote and start saving. USAA, what you're made of, we're made for.
Isn't it time we thank our eyes for always putting in a full day's work or play, and for connecting us one generation to another? Thank your eyes by enrolling in a VSP Vision Plan. Learn how at VSP.com.
We're the number 52 for the Terrapins and fought number 37 for the Orange.
Back at the Dome, alongside Ryan Pell, Brian Higgins with you on this Sunday afternoon. This great lacrosse matchup between top-ranked Maryland, 9th-ranked Syracuse, 9-6 Terps here. Off the last Logan Wisnowski's goal, a loose ball push in the face-off, and the Terps will have it again. This is a dangerous time, Ryan, in the game here for Syracuse as Maryland looking to put together 3 straight goals to start the half.
Yeah, Maryland's doing a great job on the offensive end in those loose ball situations. They've been scrappy, determined, and picking a couple of those up, and it's caused transition.
Kahn from behind missed the target. Got leveled by Grant Murphy. Back up Wisnauskas. So shots are even in the game. Maryland has put more of them on target and more of them in the target. Here's Owen Murphy. Pass to Vilas momentarily. He's on the ground. Ball checked out. Bodies everywhere. And the Orange came out with it. It was Brandon Avilas recovering on defense as it looked like. Initially, Ryan Murphy had him beat. Avilas, a great job to recover.
Yeah, it was. And, you know, Coach Telmo was looking for a call on there with the one arm hold around the neck. I thought it should have been something there, to be honest with you, but
I thought something. It looked like somebody was in the crease. A lot of stuff happened there for no flags or whistles or anything. Players are on the ground looking around, but the Orange have the ball with Dordovic. He's got a hat trick. He and Lucas Quinn have all 6 for the Orange. 10 minutes in here to the third. This is Quinn. Now Dordovic. It's the key here, Ryan. Can anyone else for Syracuse get involved on offense?
yeah, we haven't seen it too much right here. Dordovic's definitely been the guy. They're going to continue to try to find that matchup. Curry's always a good option with his blazing speed.
Curry inside, a nifty pass, but the shot deflected wide. That was Quinn, who could not quite put it on McNaney's net. Now Maryland, no numbers here. The Orange back on defense. Now Owen Siebold was forced to retreat on defense. He's not off at that end of the field. He'll sub off now. Maryland running a little substitution game into the crease. Shot high by Donville. The backup barely by the Terps. And Maryland looking to push the lead back to 4. The third quarter has looked a lot more like the first than what we saw in the second. Here's DeMeo, a couple goals already today. DeMeo shut down by the freshman Carter Rice. Oliver behind the back pass. Off the shoe tops of Keegan Kahn. Scooped by Donville. From behind, long, stumbling. Now Wisnauskas bullying his way in to his favored left. Shot blocked by Murphy. Great job by Grant Murphy hanging in against the All-American. And now Rice with transition ahead to Frederigo. So the Orange have your right end. Lucas Quinn was slow up behind the play for Syracuse. Siebold.
He was slow up behind the play because he got crushed with a big hit right to his chest. He's got to get his head on a swivel and see that guy coming.
Dordovic gets a screen from Cordes. Triple team comes. Dordovic. Curry now. Orange still have not scored after halftime. Maryland's got the only 2 goals after the break. Siebold looking to roll on Ray Hill. Sweeping shot goes wide. Orange back up. They're There's Lucas Quinn on the sideline trying to catch his breath, avoiding the Orange training staff. They just want to come out of this one the way he's playing. Shot by Curry, misses wide. Orange with the backup. So McNaney's not afraid to get out of that crease and go running after the
No, he goes for it. Great energy in between the pipes. You know, again, another sloppy turnover, just passing and catching the ball. You got to understand, when you're playing in a big game and you're trying to knock down the #1 team in the country coming to your house, you got to execute. You got to pass and catch the ball well. You got to hit your clears. You got to win the face-off. You got to have great goaltending play. And Syracuse here in this quarter, 2 terrible turnovers, unforced.
And look at the turnover numbers there, Ryan. And Maryland has one more than Syracuse, but at the unforced part, it feels like Maryland's are because of maybe something the Orange did on defense. Syracuse is just throwing the ball away the last couple times.
Yeah, they really are. You know, one of them's on the man-up situation where it's just a pass and a catch. So that's very bad turnovers. You got an opportunity to score a goal with an extra man, and you're just throwing the ball away.
Low shot stopped by Gavin as he has come alive here in the third, denying Daniel Maltz.
He 100% has come alive. Gavin is on fire right now. He's really keeping Syracuse in it. Maryland continues to get extremely high-quality shots, and he's been stepping up for the occasion and coming up with some big-time saves.
He's made saves with most of his body parts, his feet, his head. He's been doing it with everything he's got down there here in the third to keep the Orange within range. 3-goal game here as we're about to hit the final minute of the quarter. This is the redshirt freshman Jackson Burtwhistle. Big-time recruit last year, but did not play. Burtwhistle outside. In trouble, Griffin Cook. Absorbing checks being thrown by Brett Makar. Now Berkman. Looking for something. Berkman out top. Cordes to the crease. And Burtwhistle on the board in his college career, and what a time for it. Orange back within 2. And that's the first goal by somebody other than Tucker Dornovic and Lucas Quinn.
Yeah, it's just so unbelievable. I don't know why Syracuse doesn't do this on every possession. I'm talking about the great passing. Berkman draws a ton of attention right there. He really makes that goal go. Drops it down low, finds the back of the cage, but when Syracuse plays quick, when they're constantly moving, when the ball's going from one guy's stick to the next, they're successful. They're having trouble right now on the offensive end when it sticks in one guy's stick and he tries to do too much.
And that was a freshman in Tyler Cordes assisting a redshirt freshman in Burtwhistle. Violation on the faceoff on Fopp. He thought he was off to the races. First violation of the half. Weirman now throws it away. So both faceoff guys matching errors there, and Syracuse gets it back. Those two, both Pennsylvanians, literally they practice against each other all summer long. They know each other inside out, backwards and forwards. Deuce ball, again a chance to cut it to 1. Final seconds of the third. What a game it's been today in the Dome.
Gotta go.
4 seconds, Berkman shoots and scores! Mikey Berkman, and it's a 1-goal game. Just 2 seconds left in the quarter.
Just like the close on the second quarter, the Orange have come to life here in the third. Mikey Berkman, great awareness of the clock, great timing on taking it to the cage, and he hammers home a high, hard one. That's a huge, yet a gigantic goal for the Orange to draw them back within 1.
You talk about picking corners off stick side and high past the ear of McNaney. And we're going to have a 1-goal game going to the 4th, just like we did at halftime. Final face-off for ceremony to end the quarter. And Syracuse dead in the water at the offensive end for much of the third quarter. Finds 2 goals in the final minute and cuts it to a 1-goal game. It was all Terps for about 14 minutes here in the third, where the Orange cut it to 1. Fourth quarter coming next.
Isn't it time we thank our eyes for always putting in a full day's work or play, and for connecting us one generation to another? Thank your eyes by enrolling in a VSP Vision Plan. Learn how at VSP.com.
Back in the dome, Terps 9, Orange 8. 3 quarters in here. And Johns Hopkins fans, this is not a drill. This is actually happening. Dave Petramalo wearing orange on the right. His longtime offensive coordinator, Bobby Benson, wearing the Terps red on the left. If you're a Hopkins fan, you couldn't have predicted this, Ryan, in a million years. But these guys know everything, and I mean everything the other guy's thinking right now.
Absolutely. I'm sure their friendship is pretty solid. 14 seasons together and game planning together and going over X's and O's and understanding one another's philosophies on basically everything.
Yes.
This is it's a matchup that's exciting, and it's going to be fun to see who's victorious here at the end.
Well, Bobby Benson took over the OC job at Maryland. It was January last year, late in the game, when J.L. Reppert got the Holy Cross head coaching job. As here comes Puglisi, who's already got a goal in the game. Skip past Wisnauskas in his spot and buries it from the right wing. He don't miss from there. Terps by 2.
I mean, the guy can just flat out shoot the rock, let's be honest. Wisnauskas. Little low to high riser to the top upper 90 of the cage. Great vision, finding him on the backside. I feel like Syracuse has not always been aware of number 1 is on the field today, and you gotta know where he is at all times. He's gotten loose in the middle of the field. He's wide open there on the backside. I know you got some transition. I know you got to slide a little bit, but a little bit more awareness of where number 1 is, because he can shoot the ball with the best of them.
Well, now that Jared Bernhardt has graduated, Wisnauskas is in more spots on the field than just there. But a good place to start looking for Logan is just where he scored from, because that's where he's been parked for the better part of 5 years. And nobody, and I mean nobody in college lacrosse is better from right there, right now, than him. Large ball, 2-goal game. Here's Quinn, a Wormberg. Wide left, he scored on one like that earlier and nearly got his 4th. And good to see Quinn back in there after taking that big-time check late in the 3rd. Can Brendan Curry find the back of the net? Yet to today. Gordovic, inside, shot stopped by McNaney. That time denying Griffin Cook. Both goalies have made some really impressive stops here in the second half.
Yeah, they really have. Getting great play out of the netminders on both ends of the field. And like I've been saying, you got to play solid, you got to play big in the big games, and you're seeing a display of some great goaltending play all day today, really.
Both in double figures. Made saves, you hit that number, you're doing pretty good most of the time. Bubba Fairman, how about Bubba? Former number 2 overall recruit. 4 years on the first midfield line. This year volunteers to go to D-Mini. His shot is blocked and gets it back. Selflessness by the 5th-year guy.
Yeah, that's what it takes to get to the top of the game and play at such a high level. Is dedicated players that are willing to do whatever it takes for the good of the team. Team first guys, major recruiting point.
Shot was blocked. Bounce right back to Kahn, and this time stopped by Gavin. Battle for the backup. Ball still in play, and Maryland digs it out with a fresh shot clock. The new rule this year, shot clock resetting to 60 in situations like that instead of 80, which have been the case ever since it debuted a handful of years ago now. Here's Long. Pass outside. Donville goes low and scores. Terps by 3. And this is the first midfield line combining here, Ryan.
Yeah, this offense is pretty potent. They're tough to stop. They're getting Syracuse really out of sorts. You see so many guys down goal line extended that low, and just a wide open look on the backside right there.
It's amazing. We have not said Jonathan Donville's name a lot today, Ryan, but he's had essentially 2 open looks and has scored on both of them. And that is why he was the #1 pick in the NLL draft. You get him the ball, it's going home. 6-man face-off scrum. Orange had it for a moment. Stick loss, though. And the Terps come out with it with Krabilski. Here's Weirman. He's dangerous. Passing left and off the pipe. Maltz rang it off the crossbar. Fopp will scoop it up. Not always so comfortable with the ball in his stick, and he finds a lot of Moye. And again, the Terps have pushed it back to 3. It was down to 1 at halftime. Back to 3. Down to 1 at the end of the third. And back to 3 already.
Yeah, Syracuse can't wait as long this time to make their go.
So if you only cut it back to 1 by the end of the quarter, that's too late. Off the pipe by Siebold. Ricochets toward midfield. And picked up by Maryland and Maltz. Here's Daniel Maltz, his brother Derek. And his dad Derek. Both Orangemen. His brother Dylan started in the Dome, ended his career as a Terp and won the 2017 national title. 11-8. Next goal in this game feels wildly important still with 11 minutes and change to go. There's Owen Murphy. Great speed by the second line midi. Finds Maltz, turning shot and scores! Daniel Maltz! And it's 12-8. A 3-goal Terrapin run to start the quarter.
It's just like I just talked about with the Maryland offense being so potent. They got so many different weapons that they can tap into. Down at the Syracuse end, you know, you're talking about Dordovic and you're talking about Curry as those two guys that can go by everybody. Maryland uses an array of weapons. It's a different name that we're calling on every single goal that's happening right now.
How about Daniel Maltz? He was a 40-goal scorer and a starter on attack last year on the national runner-up. Replaced in the starting lineup this season with the arrival of Keegan Kahn and the ascension of Eric Molliver. And here he is just when they needed him. Face-off win by Weirman, finds Wisnauskas. Skip pass, wide of Maltz and turned over. A 4-goal game here with 10 and change to go.
Still plenty of time right now if you're Syracuse, but every possession really starts to count right now. You got to be producing high-quality shots. You got to get it to your superstars and let them go to work.
Siebold pinballs his way across midfield. The Terps already back on defense. It's kind of hard to catch Maryland in transition. They don't give up full field goals very often. On the midfield now, Quinn trotting out. Here's Buttermore with the ball. Buttermore. Now Dordovic. He's been the one-on-one guy today for the Orange. Sweep and shoot, and a bouncer scores. A 4th for Dordovic. And the Orange end the 3-goal Maryland run as Tucker comes up limping after the goal.
Yeah, we're going to keep an eye on him and watch his mobility, but just a high bouncer right there. Takes a weird little spin off the turf. McNaney, turn and rake, my friend. Tucker Dordovic is playing his game at a high level right now. He's keeping Syracuse in it, been doing it all day. And 23, that's the guy I'm looking to have the ball right now in every offensive possession if I'm Coach Gate and the Syracuse Orange.
How about this massive crowd in the Dome today? So it was 19 degrees outside and snowing this morning. There's about 8,000 and change we expect in the Dome today for this huge matchup with the top-ranked Turks and the 9th-ranked Orange, in a day where Gary Gate is coaching and honored, on a day where Roy Simmons Jr. goes into the Ring of Honor. The Orange will need a late rally here to try to come back and knock off number 1. Down by 3 into the final 10 minutes as Maryland has won a key faceoff. You can tell the Terps here, they know how to be patient in these scenarios. Here's Kyle Long. Their best feeding midfielder is hung up behind. Long. Pass bounce, stick got hit. Wisnauskas giving chase. Ball is loose. A diving Aviles kept it alive for a moment, but he's called for the push. And Maryland will get it back. It's a loose ball call. They say nobody had possession at the time.
Just for the record, Brian, I don't like it. I don't like that call right there. Let those guys play. I didn't really see much there.
Not really. Never really played out to the fullest to see who's actually going to end up with the ball either. Waltz out top. Here's DeMeo. DeMeo working on Barlow. Final 9 minutes now. Number 1 Terps up 3. Donville sliding past Aviles. Shot skids wide. Gavin another stop. Maryland maintains possession. The shot clock did not go back up to 60. Behind, Donville says it don't matter. Hat trick for the Cornell transfer. Well, he's played in this building before. He knows what it's like here in the Dome.
Yeah, we talked about the creativity of the Gates coming from Canada. Donville out of Oakville, Ontario. Grew up playing box lacrosse, a little backhand shot there. They encourage the creativity, find different ways to put the ball in the net. When Donville is playing a big-time game, he comes up that left side with the stick in his right hand and cans a little backhander, a big-time goal out of Maryland.
I'm sure Gary Gate didn't appreciate the goal at this time, but he has to appreciate the style that goal was scored in by Donville. Face-off won by the Orange. Sam Alexo bumping off officials and Maryland players. Bunny pass to Rosa just got blown up. And they will stop play now as Rosa is down and call interference and give the Orange the ball back.
Late whistle there. That was definitely interference or push in the back.
So Terps lucky that was not just a penalty. Makar taking out Rosa there. Looked like he got him dead in the back. Terps lucky that was not a penalty. Will be Orange possession once they get everything sorted out on the field. But not a man up. In a 4-goal game with a little more than 8 minutes to go. Terps led early 5-0. Orange, you've never caught all the way up. Been within one twice. Griffin Cook in trouble. Another whistle on a hold will keep it at this end.
I love number 2, Griffin Cook. Plays with a lot of energy. Sometimes he gets himself into a little bit of tight situations. Double teams, triple teams. Got to get that ball once you draw the slide, move the rock.
That may have been the rare quadruple team he arrived at by accident. Seabold behind. Well, every possession looms large here in a 4-goal game. Seabold. Backing, shooting, missing high. Back up by Berkman. Now, I think we've seen here with 7.5 minutes to go, at least as of this point, Ryan, that the Orange can play with number 1, but we're also seeing the gap still to number 1. Outside, Dordovic! 5-4 Tucker. If anyone's going to bring Syracuse back today, it's that guy.
No doubt about it. Let's go 2-3, having himself a day. Great catch, right away dodging. Sees that he's got to step on the defenseman and catches the goaltender out of balance just a little bit. It doesn't have to be the hardest shot. It's well placed and it's deceptive. Number 23, Dordovic, strong showing right now, and he's super important for the Orange in this one.
Tucker Dordovic, 5 goals last week, 5 today, 3-goal game in the Dome.
Now, Orange fans, turn your attention to the video board for Narrow Fence's Save at the Game. That was Arrow Fence's Save the Game. Arrow Fence, fencing that's straight as an arrow. Fans, this past Tuesday, the Premier Lacrosse League announced its inaugural Pro Lacrosse Hall of Fame class. The The 11th first class featured a trio of Syracuse alums, the only college program with multiple.
TurboTax Live matches you with the right tax expert. I've been paired with you because I have expertise that applies to your life.
So, you're a perfect match for a freelancer who just bought a home that's also her office?
That's right.
What if?
I invest in crypto in my hometown of Gravity, Iowa.
Then I would say you're down to earth and help you report your gains and losses.
What if I work in London, live in New York, and shot a Super Bowl commercial in Los Angeles?
I can sort that all out for you.
Get matched to your tax expert with TurboTax Live.
USAA is made for the safe pilots, like Sergeant Hayden, who won't return a call until the engine's cool. With USAA Safe Pilot, when you drive safe, you can save up to 30% on your auto insurance. USAA, what you're made of, we're made for. Get a quote today.
3-goal game in the Dome with the Terps leading, but the Orange trying to get back in it, Ryan, because of this guy, Tucker Dordevic, and on fire. He's got 5 right now.
Yeah, Dordevic from Portland, Oregon. He's a hard-working kid, super competitive. Like I was saying before, he can shoot it left, he can shoot it right. He's got quick feet, he's strong. And that is the recipe for an excellent lacrosse player that's doing big things here in the Dome today.
Well, he scored inside, he scored outside, he scored high, he scored low, he scored left, he scored right. He's going to need to score a few more, though, because the Orange are still down by 3. He's got half of Syracuse's total at 10. Fought, had it for a moment. And that feels like it's happened a bunch today, or it looks like the Orange had the face-off one, but Maryland ends up with possession. Face-offs are +1 in favor of Syracuse. It feels like it. I mean, it's just a few plays away there where Fought maybe has won the clamp and they haven't ended up with the ball that could have tilted this game in a different direction. Here's to Mayo. Now Donville's had some big goals late. He's got the hat trick. To Mayo. Murphy coming to look inside. Donville's shot was blocked. Big round ball here. Rodrigo gives chase. The Lemoyne transfer. Now the Orange will clear. There is time. 3 goals, not a ton, but still a lot of work to do against number 1 with 6.5 minutes to go. This building has seen way crazier things than this in much less time. Can it start with Quinn, who had the 3 first-half goals? Yet to hear from Seabold today. We've heard from Dordevic plenty. Stumbling. Dordevic. Shadowed well this time by Zappatello. Now Bordermore wants room to clear out, and Curry will come to collect. No goals yet for Brendan Curry. He had 4 in the first quarter last week. Curry speeding, shooting, and missing wide. Now Curry's just not found the target today, right?
He really hasn't. You know, he hasn't been shooting the ball great today. He's getting his hands free. He's doing, you know, his usual speed dodges, getting by people.
Buttermore deflected and backed up by Curry. Shot clock remains at 8. So the Orange need to move quickly here. Curry, he can move quickly. 4 on the shot clock, brings it behind to the crease. Quick stick goes wide. None of that was ever on target, apparently. Pat March yelling desperately for a shot clock reset, and they'll say instead a shot clock violation.
I thought it should have been a reset, and the goalie made the save down low there.
I thought he might have made the save on the previous shot as well. Huh. And no shot clock reset there. The Orange had the backup, but it does not matter because it was a shot clock violation. Now into the final 5 minutes. Well, the Terps can consider the clock now at this point. Long skip pass. That was dangerous. Deflected. Rodrigo goes for Wisnauskas instead of the ball. The Orange get it but throw it away. But Curry's in the right spot. Hughes ball, but Maryland back on defense as it seems they always are. 4.5 to go. And the Orange still need 3. Siebel. Now Curry rolling into a double team. Buttermore back to Curry. Brendan Ponder your options. Around a screen. Curry to the crease. No room. Outside Dordovic. Shut down well that time by Zappatillo. Griffin Cook. Cook trying to stuff it to the crease. Deflected, looking for Buttermore, and the Orange give it away. Running out of time now with 3:45 on the clock. It's still a 3-goal Maryland lead. And you see the turnover numbers, Ryan. Maryland's had more of them, but somehow it feels like Syracuse's have been more costly.
Yeah, I think what you're seeing right now is Maryland, a lot of experience playing in the big games. They're very well balanced. They got a lot of power on the offensive end. They play excellent defense. Syracuse has impressed me on the defensive end today. Very well organized and pretty excellent throughout the day. Offensively, maybe lacking a couple different weapons on the offensive end right now. Hiltz being out, that certainly hurts.
Maryland working on the clock here. Shot clock down to 30. Here's Keegan Kahn. Wisnowskis. Maryland scores one more. That would basically seal it here. Closing on 2.5 minutes to go, and what is a 3-goal game. Owen Murphy eyeing the shot clock, as are all the Terps. 13 on it now. Murphy. Outside. Open shot off the pipe by Brennan, and picked up and dumped in. The goal for Owen Murphy, the Hopkins transfer. And the Terps up 4 with 2.5 left.
Owen Murphy, this is just right place, right time. Tons of room, picks up the Lucy, little inside roll. I like how he lowers his head, drops the goalie or freezes the goalie just a little bit, and then he sticks one to the backside of the cage. So again, though, Maryland's got some guys that have been open, pretty wide open, up at the top of the Syracuse defense there, and it's been tough on the netminder today, just with the quality of shots that you're seeing Maryland continue to get. It's completely different. The shots that Maryland are getting from the shots that Syracuse are having to muster up.
Orange get the face-off off the Terrapin violation. You're right, Ryan. Like Maryland's had a couple of kick-in easy goals. I can't think of one easy goal Syracuse has had today. Special goals, but not easy ones. And the Orange turn it over again. Down to the final couple minutes. Well, we talked about it kind of all week long, Ryan. We did not know what to expect from Syracuse today. You look at 28-5 against Holy Cross last week. You couldn't read into that at all. You looked at Maryland's 2 wins. You can read all the way into that. This is a legit national title favorite this year. One of, if not the best team in the country. And it's kind of played out that way. The Orange have shown sparks, but Maryland has been the more complete team.
No doubt about it. They're so well-rounded. I look up and down the field, and I don't see many weaknesses that they have. They got an excellent head coach. They got a great coaching staff. Pretty solid in the face-off area. Getting great goaltending play today. Excellent on the defensive end, and their offense has got a ton of firepower.
Look at Virginia, who's won the last 2 titles. They'd certainly be in the mix. Others as well. Penalty on the Orange. That coming on to Vilas with 1:03 to go. But Maryland is going to be there at the end again this season. And the Orange, we see the work they have to do here, Ryan. It's a 4-goal game against number 1, and a timeout for the Terps. No shame in that. But there is still a gap at the moment between Syracuse and game number 2 for Gary Gayton. We see John Tillman there. He's working on year 12, where he's been to the title game 6 times.
Yeah, for sure. This is a good opportunity for Syracuse to kind of weigh it out, see where they're at right now, and see the areas that they need to improve in and get better at. So it's, definitely a work in progress here to get where they want to go. What Coach Gate talked about, Final Four contending and getting back, to championship weekend, and you're playing against the very best right now. So I think this has been a heck of a good lacrosse game, and you're seeing the better team right now be successful.
Well, Gary Gate spent the last 14 years in charge of the Orange women's program, 3 times to the national title game, including last year. And he's doing here what he did there every year. he set out to design as hard a schedule as possible to get his team ready for what's to come down the line. Playing Maryland in game 2 is not going to get the result hoped, but he knows what the goal is at the end, and you got to be able to play and win games like this, and that's what Syracuse has found out here today.
Yeah, absolutely. This is only going to help him for sure. I like the mindset of challenging yourself, playing against the best. You know, you're not improving as a program going and beating Holy Cross by 20-plus goals. This opportunity right here is where it's at.
And here's what's upcoming for Gary Gates' squad. Oh, you just finished with one of the number ones in Maryland? Well, here's the other one coming up down at Clockner in Charlottesville on Saturday, the twice defending national champs. Short week for Army, short week for your rival in Hobart, and then a road game at Johns Hopkins. That is a busy month here for the Orange upcoming.
Yeah, busy month and some great talent. You know, it's exciting to see lacrosse grow so much. You used to look up and down the schedule and think, hey, this is a cupcake game, you know, and that's not the case anymore. You got to be ready to play week in and week out.
Here's what the Terps got coming up. Princeton, the Ivy League, hadn't played in 2 years. They opened their season blowing out Monmouth yesterday. Notre Dame is a championship contender. Albany, you know, is always decent. And then Virginia and Penn State. So both these teams have Virginia upcoming. That Maryland-Virginia game, very well, could be number 1 versus number 1, or number 1 versus number 2 coming up in the middle of March. And Ryan, I know you enjoyed playing in these games. That's what's so great about lacrosse. The best teams don't avoid each other. They play each other in the regular season. They do it again in the playoffs every year.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what college lacrosse is all about. And, you know, we used to thrive off playing against the best competition in the biggest games, and that's why you come to such historic lacrosse programs like Syracuse, like Maryland, like Johns Hopkins, like Virginia. So it's for these moments and these games and playing in front of big crowds, and it brings the excitement to the game of lacrosse, and a great opportunity.
Now Maryland just killing off the clock. They're man up right now. There is a few more seconds on the game.